In this video, I am going to be talking about everything wrong with the final Season 4, so all of its faults and everything that I think could be improved upon in the future. So first up is visual recoil. Visual recoil is something that makes a lot of the weapons in the game innately inaccurate, so if you weren't aware, all bullets in the finals go towards the center of your screen, so sometimes your crosshair or reticle is a little bit offset from where your bullets are actually going, and this just makes the gunplay feel a little bit sloppy, and I feel like it would just be better for the overall health of the game if guns just felt more accurate. Like, for example, the FCAR feels pretty good to use. It has no visual recoil, but it still has a recoil pattern, so it doesn't just beam enemies, but it basically has no visual recoil. So that's an example of a weapon that doesn't really have visual recoil, but it's still like a perfectly balanced weapon. So it's absolutely something that you can apply to other weapons as well and still have them be balanced. But then if you go and look at something like the AKM, it has a lot of visual recoil on it, and sometimes your reticle will be pointing at someone's head and, you know, you don't get a headshot, you get a body shot instead, and that just doesn't feel very good. The next thing is to buff instead of nerf. So there have been a lot of significant nerfs since the betas of the finals, and there have been much fewer, much lighter buffs for other stuff. This led to the Model 1887, the one weapon that hasn't been touched since the game's launch, being the most overpowered weapon currently in the game. So we've had power leak for a pretty long time, and a lot of the nerfs have just made guns feel like pea shooters, like the M60 or the Lewis gun in particular, and I just feel like it would make more sense if the guns themselves felt like they packed more of a punch. Then we have the rank system. The rank system does not make sense. In every other competitive game, be it CSGO or Overwatch 2 or Valorant or whatever it is, a match is normally the same amount of time, whether you win or lose. And a win will generally be worth about the same amount as a loss until the pretty high up ranks. And in the finals, that is not how it works. Losing a match takes 8 to 10 minutes, depending on if you go into overtime or not, and winning a match can take up to 40 minutes. And a loss is about the same amount of points as a win, but winning takes 3 times as long. This just makes it feel like the player's time isn't being respected. Either wins should be worth 3 times more than losses because they take 3 times longer to get, or losses should make you go down fewer points. This would be more in line with pretty much every other FPS out there, and the finals is very unique with its tournament system, so I'm sure it's hard to balance from a technical point of view, but the current system just feels very harsh because you can spend 3 hours winning 4 games in a row, but then you can lose 4 games in a row in half an hour and lose all of your points, and that just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Next, the light still sucks. Since the game's launch, lights have been pretty bad compared to medium and heavy. In Season 1, you could just 1v3 people with the Heavy's SA-1216. In Season 2, the Heavy's Flamethrower was very good against lights. I didn't play Season 3 because I didn't like terminal attack, but now again in Season 4, lights just aren't a good pick. Medium is meta, heavy is viable, and lights just simply don't offer enough to their team. Mediums have defib, team movement, heals, very damaging weapons, and glitch mines, which are the counter to defib. Heavy has barricades, dome, shard and slam, strong weapons, and also a very large health pool, so they're very tanky. And then there's the light, which is just kind of like the lone wolf class, and I know that if you're really good with the light, then you can probably get lots of kills, but I guarantee you that if you just played medium, you'd still have loads of kills, but you would also have lots of revives and heals and just like lots of team play in there too. So I don't know what to do about the balancing, but I think light definitely needs a buff of some sort. I think the fast health regen was a step in the right direction, so if you don't know, lights regenerate health the fastest and the medium's kind of average time, then heavy's pretty slow. But I feel like it just needs a tiny bit more than that to make it as viable as the other classes. And once again, yes, I know it's the glass cannon build, but the medium's model can also do tons of damage, and so can the heavy's SA-1216, so why would you play the glass cannon when you can play the stone or the metal cannons? And I think the last thing I want to talk about is the matchmaking. So I know a lot of people have been complaining about matchmaking recently. You'll be in silver and get paired against someone that's in plat or diamond, which doesn't feel great. And I actually don't think that this is a huge problem. I think getting paired against someone significantly higher or significantly lower than you is okay in itself, because there are lots of people in a game and you don't want to be queuing up in the lobby waiting for a match to start for more than 3 minutes or so, because that just doesn't feel great for the game. So I'm fine with matchmaking with people that are 1 or 2 ranks above or below me. However, I don't feel like you're given enough points for beating those people. If you beat someone that's a whole league above or below you, then I feel like you should be significantly rewarded for that, instead of just being marginally rewarded for that, because it is a pretty big achievement. It's gonna be hard to beat someone if you're in plat. It's gonna be hard to beat someone that's in, like, diamond or ruby. That's going to be very difficult to do. So if you manage to do it, I feel like you should be given like a huge bonus to the amount of rank score that you get. And right now you only get like 100 or 200 points more than you usually would if you beat someone in your own leagues, from my experience anyway. So I feel like Embark could be a little bit more generous with how much, you know, SR they give out for winning against someone that's better than you. But the matchmaking itself I am actually okay with, but I think it would be nicer to have a little bit more of a reward for beating people that are better than you. And similarly, if you're playing against like a full bronze lobby for some reason and you're in gold, you should still get points for winning, but I feel like a couple of the points should be taken away because it was probably a pretty easy match to win, if that makes sense. So there you go. Those are 5 things that I think could be worked on and improved upon for future seasons of the finals. Visual recoil, buffing instead of nerfing, the rank system, light being bad, and also then the matchmaking system for ranked specifically. I do also want to say I did make a video talking about everything the final season 4 did right, so this isn't me just, you know, hating on the game. I'm very much enjoying this season. I do like it a lot. There haven't been any videos recently because I was busy playing Arc Raiders playtest, which is Embark Studios' next game, but I still like the finals very, very much, and I did also make a video already talking about all of the good stuff in Season 4, so this was just one talking about all of the not-so-good stuff in Season 4 that can be improved upon for the future seasons to make the game even better, to get more people in, and to make the game more popular and all of that kind of stuff. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Farewell.